Let me introduce myself. I'm John Clippinger. I'm with the Harvard Berkman Center on Internet and Society and co-director of the Law Lab there. I am very pleased to be able to act as the Master of Ceremonies, whatever that entails, on this very, very important topic. Then having been, this is my, I guess, the third or fourth conference at the summit, what distinguishes it is that you have it's very multidisciplinary, and you're able to bring together and connect dots that generally aren't connected. And Louise has a genius for assembling people that way. But at the same time, I sort of challenge existing assumptions about sort of what is the correct way to think about certain kind of issues.
Glaciologists tell me that ice sheets that took over 10,000 years to form are disintegrating now within 6 weeks' time. Other people who look at biodiversity say that we're losing species at a rate 1,000 times faster than the last great extinction. We don't often talk about that in terms of climate change, and that gets back to the boxiness of the categories with which we look at the world. Right. The language that we use is formed by our perceptions of the world and what security is.
And I would suggest, back to the issue of creativity this morning, the elevation of non-experts, the elevation of amateurs. In my world, it would be heretical to say this, but I will anyway, because it's not for attribution, I hope. You know, we have this issue, this image of the citizen soldier here in the United States, of the guy that runs into his log cabin, pulls the flintlock off from above the hearth and goes out and fights the bad guys, which were the British in those days. But that's a part of our mythology. That doesn't exactly ring true today with the advent of the volunteer force, but maybe in the future, what we ought to go, that citizen soldier doesn't grab that flintlock rifle. What he does is he picks up a laptop, you know, and he puts his nose ring in and he goes out somewhere and he does something that is just antithetical to the way the American military thinks, because maybe those are the kinds of people that we need to hire more of and that we need to recruit in the future. To me, one of the groups of people that are the most underprivileged and undervalued and underused and under everything are women. I think that as we change the narrative, as we try to change the narrative, that the power that women bring to the changing of that narrative throughout the world is something that we have not culturally completely come to grips with.
I think we need a sense of realism. All what has been said is very, very true. And this brings me back to where we started, which is leadership is needed holistically, globally, to attack these issues. You could have the best think tanks, the best brains in one environment, but if it's not spread out, we will be missing. And we are as weak as the weakest link in the chain.